A poor student from our school was about to jump off the roof. Classmates all rushed out to watch the drama unfold. I saw it as a golden opportunity with the cafeteria empty. Quickly seized the chance to grab a few big chicken drumsticks. Just as I sat down, a line of text suddenly scrolled before my eyes. Foolish kid, why are you still eating? Your family's about to be ruined. Your sister falsely accused the female lead of stealing class funds. After the female lead jumps, shall be reborn as the illegitimate daughter of a tycoon. Shall come back and drive your family to bankruptcy. By then it'll be your whole family standing on that rooftop. I froze the chicken drumstick in my hand, suddenly tasteless. I rushed to the rooftop, grabbing the poor student's hand tightly. I knew she desperately wanted to die, but I pleaded, don't die just yet. I gripped Snow Leaf's wrist tightly. Her body was already half suspended in midair, swaying precariously in the wind. My ears were filled with chaotic, noisy voices. Oh, this is dangerous. Should we go get a teacher? What's the point of getting a teacher? This sewer rat type. Even if you gave her 10 guts, she wouldn't dare jump. What if she really didn't steal the money? Who else could it be but her? A broke nobody picking up scraps after school to sell. Could she resist the temptation of money? Besides, Serenity said it was her who stole it. Snowleaf's face turned deathly pale. She struggled to break free from my grip, feeling her lean backward. I held on even tighter. Wait, don't jump, it's just evidence, right? I have it come down first. Well, show the evidence to the teacher together. As soon as I said it, Snowleaf's tense body relaxed slightly. She slowly looked up, a gaunt pale face, hidden behind messy hair. Just then, she was wearing an old, outdated school uniform from last term. Her whole being radiated a faint air of death. The scrolling text appeared again before my eyes. Isn't this the villainous little brother? That's right, I remember the villainous brother. Doesn't he have severe emotional detachment? Let me explain. It's a personality disorder. In simple terms, he lacks normal emotions. No ability to love others. No way to empathize with others. No wonder. Just now the whole school came to watch the female lead jump, and he was the only one eating in the cafeteria. People with this condition are like a block of wood. I bet even if his sister died right in front of him, he wouldn't shed a single tear. So why is it strange? What's strange is that I lack emotions, not a heart. This rooftop is so high. I don't want to stand up there. I ignored the scrolling text, looked up, and met Snowleaf's eyes partially hidden behind her hair. Snowleaf, do you trust me? The wind blew, and for a moment the young girl's empty eyes seemed to tremble. A second later, her cold fingers twitched slightly, then slowly gripped my hand tightly. Perfect chance acted fast. With a swift over-the-shoulder throw, I flung her into the safe area inside the rooftop. The scrolling text was shocked, damn this monstrous kid's strength. The female lead looks alive, but she's been gone for a while. Is that the point? The point is the female lead hasn't jumped. The plot's changed. Could this little brother be trying to toy with the female lead instead of his sister? Deliberately saying there's evidence. Very possible the classroom camera was destroyed by Victoria Lee. Obviously, just because the main classroom camera is gone, doesn't mean there aren't cameras elsewhere. I turned around, helped Snowleaf, who was coughing violently on the ground, to her feet, pulled her hand and headed straight to the homeroom teacher's office. As I walked, I called my dad's secretary. Secretary Lee, send me the hidden camera footage from class 124. From yesterday's gym class period. My sister doesn't know. Besides the regular cameras, her classroom has a hidden one. My dad secretly installed it after negotiating with the school to monitor her skipping classes. Even now, she thinks getting caught 9 out of 10 times she skips is because of some snitch. The video came quickly. It was sent over. I handed the phone directly to the homeroom teacher. Teacher, look at this. Lately, I've been busy convincing my cousin who wants to change jobs, which slowed down my updates. Thankfully, my friend told me 58 Jobs is the place for job hunting, quick onboarding, verified platform, tons of labor jobs, guaranteed and reliable. You can even do friendly interviews, chatting while job hunting. Super efficient. No response in 24 hours. The platform compensates directly. Once the job's sorted, you can find a landlord to rent a place directly. So convenient, everything works out. 58 jobs should find serenity if they're finding anyone. Haha, that's hilarious. This little brother doesn't care about the villainous life or death. Wild is pretty cute. Doesn't even think about covering for his sister. Probably doesn't even know what covering up means. The scrolling text is having a blast. But one person's actions, one person bears. That's my sister's catchphrase, isn't it? The homeroom teacher watched the video and slammed the desk in anger, stealing and framing a classmate. This is utterly deplorable. Snowleaf, rest assured, will definitely give you an explanation. Then with some doubt he looked at me. But while in this video it's Victoria Lee from class 124. What does this have to do with your sister's serenity? Snowleaf and I froze taking the phone. In the video the classroom was empty during gym class. A girl sneaked back into the room. With clear intent, she stole the class funds from Snowleaf's bag clip. It really wasn't my sister. This Victoria Lee, I kind of remember her. She used to hang out with some delinquent boys and bad girls in the alley, extorting new students. When I first started 10th grade, she even tried to extort me. Then my sister caught her and beat her up. Her attitude got a lot better after that. Didn't expect it to be her. Victoria Lee must have known. Even if money went missing in the class, classmates would first suspect. Snowleaf, with her poor family background and being relatively isolated. The scrolling text kept going. This twist, I didn't see it coming. In her past life, the female lead got revenge on the wrong person. People's biases are a huge mountain. The villainess really took the fall for a big crime. Honestly, though, Serenity is bad. She's openly bad. If she's targeting someone, she goes straight at them. Shed scorned this kind of dirty trick and doesn't have the brains for it. Supporting the villainess just for her attitude, with solid evidence. The homeroom teacher contacted Victoria Lee's parents and reported it to the police for handling. He also promised to announce the matter at the weekly flag raising ceremony to clear things up, to prove Snowleaf's innocence. Snowleaf followed me out of the office, her steps as light as if walking on cotton. As we neared the classroom door, she finally called out to me. The girl kept her eyes down, seemingly afraid to face others. Her voice soft, "Your Serenity's little brother. Why did you help me?" "Because I don't want you to die," I said honestly, with utmost sincerity. Snowleaf didn't move, standing rooted in place. Why? Why does this person have a million whys? Because there's only one Snowleaf in this world. If you die, someone else will come and bankrupt my family. The young girl's breathing seemed to stop abruptly after that. I looked at her strangely. What's wrong? Just as I stepped toward her, my collar was suddenly grabbed from behind. Nice one, Wild. Your sister's gone for a moment, and you're already playing hero on the rooftop. Turning around, I saw my sister panting, her forehead covered in sweat. No need to ask, she'd obviously been skipping class, rushing back in a hurry, probably without catching her breath. After scolding me, she turned and noticed Snowleaf beside me, head lowered, silent, lost in thought. She instantly flared up. "You coward! I told you to jump and you actually went to jump. I'm warning you, if you're gonna die, die far away. Don't drag my brother down." As she spoke, she pushed me aside, raising her hand to slap Snowleaf. My hand was faster than my brain. I rushed forward, grabbing my sister's wrist tightly. "Don't hit her." My sister yanked her arm. Couldn't break free, glared at me. "Why can't I hit her?" "Because it'll lead to bankruptcy and jumping off buildings." But I couldn't tell her about the scrolling text. She'd not only drag me to a psychiatrist, she'd make me get a brain scan too. Pausing for a moment, I recalled from childhood to now. Even if I casually mentioned something I liked, my sister would carefully keep it for me. So I looked up, my voice loud and clear because I like Snowleaf. My sister's face went blank. The classmates watching behind her were stunned too. One of her arms was still raised in midair. When she turned to look at me, her eyes were full of shock. "Wild, how's your taste as bad as Felix's?" Felix is the male lead, the campus heartthrob mentioned in the scrolling text. Handsome, top grades. My sister fell for him at first sight, chased him for 2 years without success. Originally a cold, aloof beauty who ignored everyone, but then she turned and stared at Snow Leaf dazed. My sister was jealous to the point of madness. From then on she started obsessively targeting Snow Leaf. Besides being handsome, what's so special about him? I instinctively looked at Snow Leaf. She was looking at me too, but the moment our eyes met, she quickly turned away, leaving me only a proud side profile. This counts as pretty. Half her face was covered by hair hard to see, but her small lips were quite red. Not that it matters. Can't I like her because she's pretty? My sister stared at me for 3 seconds. Gritting her teeth, she poked my forehead. Wild, do you even know how to write the word like? Shouting it out like that. Did she threaten you? Or do you feel I bullied her yesterday and want to make up for it? I admit my words were a bit harsh, but I didn't expect her to be so unstable, to actually go jump off a building. One person's actions, one person bears. At most, I'll turn myself in if I didn't stop her. Should call the police right then. I blinked, looking innocently at my sister. But sister, don't you tell me every day I'm not sick, that I'm a normal person. Then why can't I like her? My sister was speechless. Wild, that's not what I meant. She raised her arm. Didn't hit, didn't lower it. Finally, she scratched her head in frustration, pushed Snow Leaf aside. You little brat. For Wild, Saki, I'll let you off this time. Stay away from Felix from now on. If you dare make Wild sad, I'll deal with you myself. Why say that extra line? Who could make me sad? Just go back to class. I pushed my sister's bat to leave. As I passed Snow Leaf, I didn't forget to say, you go back too. The classmates in the room were shooed away by my sister. No one noticed. The young girl behind, gently rubbing the wrist I'd pulled, her eyes fixed on me, as if trying to see through my back. On the way back, the scrolling text was buzzing again, endlessly rolling across my vision. No way! Wild stopped the female lead from jumping so easily, and resolved the grudge between the villainess and the female lead. No way, it's that simple. Wild may have saved the female lead, but her suicidal thoughts didn't form overnight. The theft was just a trigger. The female lead has lived in darkness since childhood, pessimistic and world-weary. Even if her name is cleared this time, what about next time? As long as she's in this environment, there's always new malice waiting for her. Besides, the villainess egging her on to jump is true. Blaming her without distinguishing right or wrong is also true. Between the female lead and the villainess, it's not just about the theft. The slaps the villainess gave the female lead before are all real. Got it? Even if I pulled Snow Leaf down from the rooftop, it's just treating the symptom, not the root. She'll still try to kill herself and be reborn, and still take revenge on our family. In short, to change our family's fate, it's a long-term battle, until Snow Leaf's suicidal thoughts completely disappear. At that moment, the scrolling text seemed to hear my thoughts. In summary, a gambling, addicted father, a runaway mother, a broken family, and her scavenging. The female lead's pessimism stems from never being loved, never being liked. If the little brother can genuinely like the female lead, make her feel life is worth living, maybe it really can change her. Come on, it might work for someone else. But Wild, who can't even love, underestimating me, I may not have eaten pork, but I've seen pigs run. Liking someone means treating them well unconditionally, caring for them, protecting them. That's my sister's ultimate move for chasing guys, though she's never succeeded. No big deal. It's probably because she picked the wrong guy. I decided to start by winning Snow Leaf's stomach. Early Monday morning, I specially asked Nanny Wong to make an extra breakfast, a bowl of yam porridge, supposedly good for those needing nutrition, but with weak stomachs. This I gathered from the scrolling text. The female lead often skips meals or eats cold rice. Her stomach's not great. I carefully packed the breakfast in a thermos, went straight to school to find Snow Leaf. I looked for her in the classroom. The classmate at the door saw me, waved familiarly to the back row. Serenity, your brother's here with breakfast. My sister stretched lazily and walked out. Having a brother is great. Knowing I haven't eaten breakfast and specially bringing it. I brushed past her without a glance heading into the classroom, but my eyes skimmed the room and didn't find the person I expected. The one usually curled up in the back row, hair covering her face no leaf. Instead, in the corner, a sweet-looking girl sat quietly, her hair neatly tied in a ponytail, her bangs brushed tidily, revealing a delicate face and beautiful eyes. Red lips, white teeth, fair skin. Sunlight streamed through the window, landing on her nose. Even the faded old uniform no longer looked sloppy. When did the palace get a new beauty? I've never seen her. Wait, that uniform, there's only one like it in the school. This is Snow Leaf. Even though I don't have normal emotions, my sense of aesthetics is still intact. My sister's words, besides being handsome, truly didn't disappoint. The scrolling text went wild. Damn, this is Snow Leaf. Tying her hair up is like becoming a different person. With this beauty, why even bother with rebirth? Go debut directly. No wonder the campus heartthrob took a second look. If it were me, I'd look too. Didn't the little brother just say he liked her yesterday? And today she's all dolled up. Is the female lead trying to show off her charm? Sob, she must have thought it over all night. Got called pretty by the little brother, so she secretly fixed herself up hoping he'd notice. My sister jumped up from behind, pulled out a small makeup mirror to check herself. Unconvinced, she asked her desk mate, I don't get it. Someone who's seen a fierce tiger, why keep getting charmed by a useless bunny? Her desk mate, the fierce tiger's friend. Go home, Serenity, go home. I ignored her and walked straight to Snow Leaf's desk. She was startled by my footsteps, suddenly looked up. Her eyes met mine, and clearly paused for a moment. But this time she didn't look away. Her fingers gripping the pen tightened. Her ear tips turned visibly red, just like when I looked at her yesterday. Truly someone with poor health. I quickly placed the thermos on her desk, worried she'd misunderstand my words. I emphasized again, eat it quick. I like you. Before the porridge even reached her mouth, Snow Leaf seemed to choke, hurriedly lowered her head, her long lash drooping, hiding the emotions in her eyes. But isn't the female lead supposed to be dark and secretive? How'd she turn into an innocent kitten? Truly, those who've never been loved, just a bit of warmth can easily sway them. A few seconds later, Snow Leaf finally reached out to open the thermos. The aroma of yam porridge wafted out, mixed with a faint sweetness. Snow Leaf's fingers paused. She looked up at me again, thank you. Her voice was soft but clear. After speaking, she picked up the spoon, eating bit by bit, her movements slow and gentle, as if afraid to disturb the water. Unlike my sister slurping like she'd swallow the bowl, I sat beside her, flipped through Snow Leaf's notebook. Her handwriting and ballpoint pen was neat, clean, and elegant. The scrolling text exclaimed, as expected of the female lead. This handwriting could be published as a top scholar's notebook. The female lead's grades are top tier. If she hadn't been driven to a corner, she could easily get into top universities. Oh, does anyone still remember? Before her rebirth, the female lead's greatest wish was to get into a good university, so she'd never be looked down on again. That's why she scavenged to earn tuition. She hated life, but she also tried to live, tried to plan her life, but alas. So Snow Leaf had such a wish before, but it was destroyed by my sister and those who bullied her. No matter, it's not too late now. As long as I like her, she won't want to kill herself. Her wish will definitely come true. My fingers brushed over Snow Leaf's name. I looked up at the girl quietly eating porridge in front of me and said, Snow Leaf, the wind on the rooftop is so strong. Don't go up there again, okay? A clatter. The spoon fell into the thermos. Snow Leaf's long lash trembled. Her dark eyes reflected an emotion I couldn't understand. After a moment, she snapped back. Her voice softened, the end slightly hoarse, okay? Seizing the momentum. Besides breakfast, every day after that, I stuck to Snow Leaf like a clingy bandage, always appearing before her, letting her feel my intense affection. Snow Leaf was reading in the library. I brought a function problem I couldn't solve to ask her. Other classmates said Snow Leaf especially disliked interacting with people, but it didn't seem that way. She patiently explained the solution 8 times, while my attention was always on her face, prettier than my phone's wallpaper. Snow Leaf noticed I was distracted, tapped the desk lightly with her index finger. If you get it, explain it back to me. I twirled my pen. Personally, I think this spaghetti should be made with grade 40 to concrete. At lunch break, Snow Leaf went to eat. She was used to curling up in a corner of the cafeteria, nibbling dry buns, sipping free seaweed soup. Everyone around avoided her, as if she were a ghost. I carried my plate of braised pork and chicken drumstick, casually took the seat next to her. While she was still dazed, I kept putting meat in her bowl. You're too skinny. Eat more. Otherwise, like my sister says, besides your face, you've got nothing. She didn't say anything, just silently picked out the lean meat and put it all back in my bowl. Her face flushed red. My toothless little brother. I stood there stunned. Snow Leaf was cleaning the classroom. I ran to help her. Well, I couldn't really help. I'm a rich young master, you know. The type who makes millions a minute. I don't know how to clean. I sat on the podium, watching Snow Leaf arrange chairs and wipe windows, while eating rose grapes she bought for me. At that moment, the scrolling text wanted to slap me. Snow Leaf asked around for days to learn the little brother likes rose grapes. Used her savings meant for exam prep books to buy them. No way! And when she gave them to him, she pretended, said the cafeteria had leftovers, so he wouldn't feel guilty. Laughable, this wild. Doesn't even know how to write guilty. In just a few days, a reborn revenge heroine turned into a delicate damsel. Wild, you idiot. How can you eat so carefree? I can. Though it's not the kind I usually eat, it's pretty good. I lowered my head, pulled out my phone, texted my sister, stop playing your dumb games. Quick, buy a set of 53 books and put them on Snow Leaf's desk tomorrow. My sister replied with a middle finger emoji. Snow Leaf went home. I insisted on taking her back. Patted my brand new bike my dad bought me, letting the person I like go home alone. What face would I have left? But I didn't expect this fancy bike to be so useless. 2 pedals and the chain fell off, so I squatted by the roadside, watching Snow Leaf roll up her sleeves, fix the bike chain for me. After over a month of constant feeding, Snow Leaf had gained a bit of weight, no longer looking as gaunt as before. Sweat slid down her nose, dripping into her shirt. I hugged my knees, casually asked, you know how to fix bikes too? Did you take a hobby training class? Snow Leaf's hands paused imperceptibly. No, I used to work at a bike lot. I hummed twice and went quiet, not bothering her anymore. As a result, after all that, by the time Snow Leaf got home, it was dark. Early Saturday morning, I was all set to ask Snow Leaf to the movies. She didn't have a phone, so contact was inconvenient. Didn't expect her old neighborhood to be so remote. Even the map couldn't pinpoint the exact location. I walked for 2 hours, exhausted and panting. Weird, yesterday when I followed Snow Leaf, it didn't feel this winding or this bumpy. The scrolling text nonsense. Last night after the bike was fixed, you didn't want to pedal anymore. The whole way you sat on the seat leisurely pedaling. The female lead was quietly pushing you from behind. I was speechless. Walked 3 more loops. Entered a narrow alley. Felt like something was about to happen. Just as I turned to leave, I suddenly heard shoving and crashing sounds from inside. You filthy poor thing, told you not to scavenge in this area. Don't you understand human language? Really don't get why City High waives fees. Taking in useless trash like you, genius like me, they don't accept. What are you staring at? You dare fight back. It'll make you scavenge. The scrolling text urged me to hurry and take 2 steps forward. Then I saw a few punks from the nearby vocational school, some with dyed blonde hair, cornering Snow Leaf against a wall. Snow Leaf stood against the light, her body tense, clutching a sturdy sack tightly. Just then one punk deliberately kicked the sack hard. The sack tore, plastic bottles inside scattered everywhere. Normally, I take a detour in situations like this, but this time, before the scrolling text could tell me what to do, I instinctively threw the water bottle in my hand. She's collecting my bottles, Wild's bottles. You got a problem? Go talk to my sister. That didn't sound convincing enough. I added, no way. My sister is Serenity from City High. My dad dominates the business world. My sister follows in the underworld. Back then, because she didn't like the vocational school kids, always messing with our school, she led a group of lackeys and beat them all down. Since then, Serenity's legend lives on in the streets. The punks were stunned by the name. Lee Boss Serenity. That woman's moves are brutal. A rich, slightly unhinged woman like that. We can't mess with her. The leader was flustered too. You little brat, just you wait. Spouting a vicious line. The group cursed and laughed. The alley finally quieted down. Only scattered plastic bottles remained. I stood nearby, watching Snow leave her lips bruised, picking up the bottles one by one, each plastic bottle strewn on the ground. Her fingers trembled slightly as she gripped them, as if suppressing something. Snow, leave! Before I could finish, my wrist was suddenly grabbed. Snow Leaf's palm was hot, with a bit of roughness from calluses, but surprisingly soft, as if afraid of hurting me. Wild, I'm sorry, but can you go somewhere else for a bit? What's that supposed to mean? Kicking me out? I walked all morning to get here, and not only is she kicking me out, she won't even look at me. I lost patience, grabbed her face with both hands. I'm not going. A second later, I was suddenly facetto-faced with redrimmed eyes, filled with emotions I couldn't understand. Embarrassment, grievance, and something else. Like the girl's deepest wound had been pierced. Awkward and flustered. Wild. Snowleaf's voice was hoarse. Don't pity me, please. Her eyes showed deep helplessness, as if saying I'm not good enough. Don't look at me. The thing called inferiority felt like a chain, strangling the young girl's heart that wanted to leave. But so what? I'm a block of wood. I can't empathize with her. Do I need to pity you? I flicked her forehead. You know how to fix bikes. Solve the hardest math problems. Fold empty bottles into squares to save space. If those things need pity, then I'm more pitiful, and so is my sister. She only knows how to open her mouth. Maybe my flick was too strong. Snowleaf seemed stunned by it, her whole body frozen, tears in her eyes unmoving. The scrolling text was chaotic before my eyes. Sob anyone who calls the little brother a block of wood again. I'll fight them. Our little brother should be the bright moon. Who can understand the feeling of being saved by these words? The little brother didn't say empty words like you're great, but said you know how to do this. That's the deepest recognition for someone insecure. True care isn't grand romantic gestures, but your awkwardness in his eyes is a shining point. The little brother scored big this time. The scrolling text was as lively as New Year's, but I didn't understand why. I was just telling the truth. Female lead, you're done for. You're about to fall completely in love. Where's the cheering for Serenity? No time to read the scrolling text. My stomach's growling. I came to find you this morning without eating, starving, and you're kicking me out. Snowleaf snapped back. I'm not kicking you out, she explained softly, her expression awkward, as if regretting her earlier demeanor. What do you want to eat? Stewed chicken buns. I rummaged through my pockets for my wallet, looking for small bills, but all I found were cards. Snowleaf held my hand. I have money. She pointed to the sturdy sack. Selling bottles gets me some. All right, I said. After buying the stewed chicken buns, I got greedy. Couldn't catch a movie. Then let's hang out at your place. I was there yesterday but didn't get inside. You sure you want to come to my place? Snowleaf's fingers fidgeted with the keychain bag. After a moment, she said my place is small, dirty, but she noticed I wasn't listening at all. I looked at the low single-story house in front of me, took a bite of the bun. Wow, your place is like something from a movie. Snowleaf couldn't help but curve her lips, took out the key to open the door. The house was indeed small but not dirty. An old wooden table, 2 chairs, a corner neatly stacked with books, and several teed-up bundles of empty bottles. The only eye-catching thing was the certificates on the wall, from elementary to high school, densely packed with first-place awards. Sit, I'll get you a bottle of water. The chair was already clean, but Snowleaf wiped it several times before handing it to me. I nodded. While she went out, I casually picked up the 53 book on her bedside. The book was filled with marked notes, yet the pages were still pristine. Every book of snow leaves. The scrolling text isn't that the 53 book the little brother gave her. Son above. Wild even put it by her bedside. What does this girl think about every night I want say more? Snowleaf came back with water. Saw the book in my hand. Her face flushed red instantly. Helped me close the book I was just doodling. I took the water, drank a sip. Tilted my head. You sure doodle a lot. The scrolling text laughed, saying Snowleaf was about to die of embarrassment. So I changed the topic. Pointed to the certificates on the wall. You're really impressive. Can these certificates be exchanged for money? She laughed at my question. The embarrassment in her eyes finally faded a bit. No, but they can be exchanged for the path I want to take. I turned away. Snowleaf kept looking at me. Sunlight streamed through the window's gap, falling on her face like shattered moonlight. Her voice was gentle, soft, but incredibly firm. They can be exchanged for the path I want to take. It seemed that after that day, the smile on Snowleaf's face grew more frequent. She no longer always kept her head down, eyes lowered. Plus, with college entrance exams approaching, everyone was busy with final reviews. No one gossiped about Snowleaf anymore, except my sister. She said since we have a family fortune to inherit, we can slack off a bit, and Dad would work harder. This pissed Dad off so much he took off his shoe to hit her. I ignored my sister's cries for help, carried a thermos and a box of milk to school, went to Snowleaf's desk. She wasn't there. The classmate next to her said the homeroom teacher called her to the office to discuss her college application preferences. I nodded, placed the thermos and milk on her desk. As I turned to leave, I bumped into Snowleaf's shoulder. Snowleaf quickly steadied me, pushed me into her chair. She opened the thermos, picked up a crystal dumpling and brought it to my mouth. Eat together. It smelled amazing, impossible to refuse. I opened my mouth and bit. Asked vaguely, which school did you tell the teacher you're applying to? Snowleaf paused, then said Top North. I stuffed another crystal dumpling in. My cheeks puffed up. Forgot you always wanted to go to Top North. Snowleaf suddenly leaned close to me, her breath carrying a faint soap scent, brushing past my nose. And you? She finally spoke, her voice softer than before. Which school are you aiming for? Oh, my grades are just a bit better than my sister's. Even though Snowleaf tutors me almost daily, but am barely good enough for a local university. I told the truth. Snowleaf didn't say anything after hearing it. Her delicate brows furrowed slightly, as if thinking about something. The scrolling text, seeing her like this, panicked. No way, sister. You're not thinking of going to the same university as the little brother, are you? Your grades could get you into Top North easily. Don't do something stupid. Classic idol drama trope, thinking it's romantic. But those who ruin their future for love are fools. If she really does something dumb for love, wants to go to the same school as the little brother, he'll look down on her. I felt the same way. So, I couldn't help but read the scrolling text's last line aloud, clear and crisp. Snowleaf froze for 2 seconds, then burst out laughing. After laughing, she looked at me with incredibly gentle eyes. Don't worry. I need to stand higher to get closer to my son, so I can endure a temporary separation. After saying that, she immediately regretted it. But not too long. You have to let me come back to visit you often. What a hassle. The capital's over 1,000 kilometers away. Are you that free? Is it necessary? She nodded firmly, her eyes wide and round. No wonder the scrolling text always called her a cat. She really looked like one. The stray cat I picked up a few days ago was like this too. When looking at people, its eyes were wet, with a hint of stubbornness. I said, if I don't allow it, you won't come. She shook her head decisively, leaning closer. The proud little kitten. I pushed her away and walked out. Do what you want. The June college entrance exam was grand and lively. Everyone performed steadily. Snowleaf, with an absolutely high score, solidly claimed the provincial top scholar title. The school awarded her $500,000. As for me, as expected, I just barely passed the university cutoff. Dad initially wanted to send me abroad, but thinking of my condition, He wasn't at ease, so he kept me in the country. So I applied to a university near home. Convenient for going home to eat anytime. As for my sister, she performed steadily too, almost failing to get into a junior college. Right after the exams ended, she eagerly confessed to Felix and got rejected for the umpteenth time. Rumor has it Felix did great, easily qualifying for a top university, studying medicine as he always wanted, to save lives. Serenity, thank you for liking me, but I feel I deserve someone better. 3 years of unrequited love ended there. My sister waved her hand, no big deal. Which woman when young doesn't meet a stubborn guy? I don't regret it. Wait, are you saying I have no future? Felix neither agreed nor denied, looking at Felix's back as he walked away without turning. My sister's eyes quietly reddened until Felix's figure disappeared. She couldn't hold back anymore, crying her heart out. My sister wailed for 2 days, then stopped. Sometimes a person's growth happens in a single moment. On the 3rd day, she solemnly pushed open the study door. Dad, I've thought it through. I want to study abroad. I can't keep being so aimless. After you're gone, I still have to take care of Wild. Hearing this, Dad was half moved to tears, half wanting to hit her with a shoe. The day before my sister left, her close friends gathered to see her off. A group of people in the karaoke bar, sometimes singing loudly, sometimes hugging and crying, saying they'd be sisters in the next life. I couldn't blend in. Found a corner and put in earplugs. Good night. Snowleaf draped a jacket over me, used her hand to shield me from the flashing lights. Looking at my sleeping face, her lips curved unconsciously. Suddenly someone approached, whispering complaints. Heartless kid. Your sister's leaving, and you don't even stay to keep her company. Serenity wanted to scold but held back. She beckoned Snowleaf, come out here. I have something to say to you. Snowleaf didn't move, her voice cold. We're not close enough to need a private talk. If Wild weren't here, he wouldn't have come. Serenity laughed angrily. Who wants to be close to you? If it weren't for Wild, who'd care about you? Wild's business, don't you dare come. 3 minutes later, the two sat on the curb behind the karaoke bar, glaring at each other. The night breeze blew away some of the girl's softness. Serenity spoke first, no longer the gangster girl vibe. Her voice low. Do you know about Wild's condition? Emotional detachment syndrome. When Wild was 3, we found he wasn't like other kids. He can't feel others' emotions, nor does he have his own joy, anger, love, or hate. He'll never learn how to. But before she could finish, Snowleaf cut her off. All the protective words Shed prepared for her brother interrupted. He doesn't need to learn anything. Snowleaf looked up, her voice clear, as if Shed rehearsed this countless times in her heart, firm beyond measure. He doesn't need to love me, because I'll love him. Serenity was stunned for 3 seconds, so she called her out to lecture about a bunch of nonsense. She laughed. Snowleaf, I'm starting to see someone like you is really annoying. You too. Snowleaf didn't look back, pushed the door back toward the sleeping figure in the karaoke bar. Everything was settled. The scrolling text disappeared. Snowleaf, in her 3rd year of university, started learning from some senior classmates. During that startup phase, she was especially busy, working and studying, coming back to the capital every half month. I said just don't come, or come once every 6 months. 6 months won't do. 2 or 3 months is fine. She said half a month was her limit, the limit of a kitten's longing. Not long after graduating, Snowleaf started her own company. She was no longer the gloomy girl everyone looked down on. When people mentioned her, it was just for words, young and talented. As for me, after graduating, I joined the family company, starting from the bottom. As for my sister, in her 2nd year abroad, she called me in a panic. Sister's in trouble. I met a creepy worker. She can hear his thoughts. Outwardly, he scolds her for being rich and smug, but inwardly he praises her long legs. And they're scrolling text to her. Haha. Rebirth. What's so strange about that? She dropped her phone. Now they're about to get married. All these years. Snowleaf and my sister still argue whenever they meet. Let's have our wedding before them, okay? Before I could answer, Snowleaf threw herself into my arms, her arms around my neck, standing on tiptoes to kiss me. I hugged her, placed her on the bar counter, lifted her face, kissed her, said vaguely okay. But then I thought of something. Snow Leaf, your company's getting bigger. Will it swallow our family's company? Snow Leaf looked up. Earnest and infatuated, she said, everything I have is yours. I'm yours too. The end of the story.